Good evening and welcome to Transcontinental Times on the show Smart Entrepreneurship Decoded. I'm back with you for a 46th episode after a 4 to 5 week hiatus. Part of the hiatus was forced because of COVID-19 pandemic, which I contracted. But the other half, I was trying to think, how do we get guests to, to whom entrepreneurs can relate to? Now, there are a lot of stories out there, right? People like heroes, people like role models. But I was thinking, heroes come of all types. They're not necessarily the ones we see in movies where they wear a cape and their underwear on top of their trousers. Neither are they limited to people who protect our borders and are in the armed forces. In entrepreneurship, role models and heroes abound all over the world and all over India, but most of them have achieved such rarefied success that a fresh entrepreneur finds it hard and unbelievable to relate to them. Their stories seem unbelievable. So I started to look out for a hero who people can relate to, a hero who people can see and feel and relate to the story and live the person's story with them, a person who has seen a different era, a person who has seen the country at a different time, a person whose life story busts multiple myths about entrepreneurship as to when to start, what to do, role of technology, how much time you have got, who should you partner with. If our guest tonight, if his story was made into a Bollywood movie, it would be as surreal as some of the ones we see made in sports or of other entrepreneurs. Our guest tonight is Mr. Kanwal Nain Sachdev, or Mr. Sachdev as I will call him. He's very experienced, but his enthusiasm, passion, and vigor will put any youth to shame. He will find it a little awkward to blow his own trumpet and tell his own story. So I'm giving you an outline so that you have context of what a wealth of information, wisdom, and insight we can get tonight. So here are the highlights. He immigrated during partition from Pakistan in 1947 as an 11-year-old. Literally came from a generation that studied under the street lamp. Managing a family of 9. 12 years later, he cleared the UPSC exams and got a government job as serving as a personal assistant to the railway board. He also did part-time jobs because he had to maintain his family. Government jobs didn't pay what they pay today. But the flame of entrepreneurship burned bright. 27 years of doing a government job, ably supported by his family, he craved to be an entrepreneur. 27 years later, at the age of 50, he partnered with a friend and set up an export firm. At the age of 50, for all those young people out there who think you don't have time, learn from this. It was a risk. He had already seen the risk of and the trauma of partition, and here he was leaving a well-settled government job and taking a risk. He partially did this because his wife was supporting him ably through a job that she was doing. But he didn't stop there. After 10 years, closer to the age of 60, he partnered with his son and set up an export business for Christmas hangings. Any of you think of ideas like this? Christmas hangings, an export business? And the company, Filadil Exports, went on to win the Top Handicraft Export Award of India for 13 consecutive years. Think about it. Take a moment for that to sink in. He served in various roles in the industry, inspired hundreds of exporters. He's a personal inspiration for me too. And in 2010, I would say a little belatedly, he was honored and awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Minister of Textiles. So without further ado, let's hear from the man himself, Mr. Sachdev. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Mr. Nalin. Thank you very much for giving a very detailed introduction. I don't know how much I deserve. In any way, I am so happy to be with you today evening.
That's very kind of you. I really want to start with, all our lives get shaped very early in our childhood. You didn't have what is called a typical ideal childhood. How much did it shape your thinking for entrepreneurship?
The idea of entrepreneurship came a little later when I was working for the in the government of India Railway Board office. Then I was in heart, I was not very satisfied that what I am doing is not very rewarding as compared to the my qualifications, my enthusiasm, my taste in life. So I was all around thinking that if I get some opportunity to leave the job, so so I had, one day this opportunity came and I left the government job and joined the entrepreneurship. But before this, I had to struggle from my childhood to my boyhood or young age. I had to struggle a lot to support my family. But still, I say this struggle proved to be a boon to me because it is only this struggle which made me strong. My past is my strength, I tell you, if in a simple word. And that's the reason I say I love my past. Past was more beautiful. The dividend which I am getting today is only because of my early age struggle, young age struggle. I am being rewarded by God. Thank you.
That's well said, because adversity can either make you or break you. You've definitely made it. But tell me something, sir. A government job is a cherished ambition for most people, even today, right? And you
You
spent
are-
27 years close to the
Yes,
power center, watching and
yes.
observing them. What gave you the courage to take the leap into risky entrepreneurship?
See, I hinted in my first the few words that daily board office is one of the best government jobs uh, when you compare with other organizations of government. I was very happy as was my working in the concern, but in heart, I was not satisfied how my future has been shaped. Working for 27 years, almost on more or less on the same job, same type of work, no promotions because now, of course, government of India jobs are good. But at that time, there were no promotions. Whatever you pass an examination, examination, and you continue to work for years together. So this is what happened. I was in heart and feeling frustrated. I was not satisfied. The amount of work I was doing, it salary wise, I may be okay, but my career, my future wise, I was all around unsatisfied person because I could feel that I can do better in the outside government of India. When I left, I had almost completed my. It was a very calculated risk. I had completed my time to take the advantage of voluntary retirement. With voluntary retirement, I can carry forward all. I can take advantage of all the benefits of a retired person. My pension is secure. My medical things are secure. My travel benefits which I get after retirement, first class travel and my passes, that all the railway amenities are stored. I am more or less a retired railway man. I am all very proud of that organization that that cares very well for the welfare of the staff. But it is most unfortunate that there was no regular system, there was no regular policy as to how much time, after how much time, the man should get the next promotion. It was very frustrating to continue in the same job for so many years, for so many years. So that was halting me, and I took the opportunity and quit.
So tell me, sir, I'm 53, and when I see the 20-year-olds doing entrepreneurship today, I think my generation had hardship, but you entered entrepreneurship and you thought of entrepreneurship at a time when we had socialism live and kicking. We had license Raj. Then there were no loans to be had. Export, I don't know how you chose because nobody was doing exports.
Yeah.
How difficult was it compared to today?
In my family, there is no, everybody is in jobs, government jobs or private jobs, whatever it is. Nobody is in business. Uh, in fact, this was always creeping in my mind to leave the job and do something else. But before that, I wanted to improve upon my education related to some business work also. I did my post graduation in the evening classes from the Delhi University, because it was all along my idea that how if I leave the job also, I must possess the requisite qualification, requisite experience to enter into that arena. So I after at the age of 45, I did my graduation, post graduation in the evening classes. And at the age of 50, I left and joined a friend of mine who was in also an export business, but some other items. And I carried on with him very nicely, and he was so happy that whatever assets he had, I had increased his assets many times. But when he said that I want to close the company and settle in America, I said, okay, I have also, because I'm now 60 years old, so I will also quit, because then go if had I been in government job, I would also quit at that time automatically. So if you want to close the company, you can close. If I need be, I will take some rest and restart some business. Otherwise, okay, bye bye. He went to America and settled there. And after taking 1 year rest, I requested my son to join me and let us do something, because I have gained sufficient experience to do something new venture we can start it. He,
What was what was your son's reaction?
my son was very happy. He said, "Papa, you are already 60 years old, and I am earning. My mother is also earning. We are getting good return from the rental property also. There was no. We are leading a good middle class family income. We are earning reasonably good income, and surviving our families nicely. But there was something hitting me that I need to work and get some better position and bring the family to a little higher level. So that was the reason I asked my son, please you leave the job and join me, and we will start some business, export business. Let me make a search. If once you say, okay, Papa, you do it. But when I succeeded in picking up one, I will also come to that point, picking up some item for exports, because I was not 100% sure whether it will click or not. In the meantime, I started making small experiments, etc., etc. There is another friend of mine. He says he is looking for somebody to in the handicraft industry to export. They have a store in USA. That lady, she belonged to India, but they were there in America for 50 years. Like, what items you are looking for? Nalin, you would be surprised when I saw those items. You know what were there? And you have seen the commercial trucks. On the back side of commercial trucks, they have prandas, they have tassels, divers, right? Those tassels, they hang on the back side so that it looks beautiful. Some people came it, but I said, this is a very small item. This is available everywhere. Because no, we have tried, because they had come from USA. I said, no, if you want, I can supply you with these items. It's, they immediately wrote down so on a small piece of paper how many items they needed. So next morning I went to the market and searched those items immediately. There was no problem for me to locate the positions where it can get. It was very easy. So I got a small order of 5 lakhs rupees from those people and export. My first export was those tassels and parandas to that lady. And I told my son that I have made a small beginning, and I am sure that we can get a lot of orders if we increase our items and new samples, so the customers will get it. And in the meantime, my daughter-in-law, she said, "Papa, if your son is not ready, I will help you to the extent I can." And she had some designing side of mind, so she also helped me a lot. So, do you know how I rewarded her? I named my company Father-in-law and daughter-in-law. That means Filadil, father-in-law and daughter-in-law. That was
Okay.
also sort of innovative things. You name the company in such a way, it is automatically she becomes a partner in the company, and we carry on. But when my son saw that one shipment has gone within 15 days, my father is competent enough, and if I join him, that we can really re-establish ourselves. So he also said that, Papa, I will also join. So he joined me. Then we both
Interesting.
together started
I have
certain new products.
I have always been fascinated by the choice of product, right? It is so unconventional. When people think entrepreneurship, they think either roti kapra makan, or they think technology or
No,
something like
it
that.
is it
It's
is,
so
it is much
unconventional.
much more beyond that. It's much more beyond. Entrepreneurship is entirely a different issue. A different issue in sense because when I created say Christmas ornaments, at that time I will say, Mr. Nalan, I was the one exporter in the handicraft industry who had exclusively created Christmas designs and opened a store where I wrote just Christmas, nothing else. And people were asking me, Mr. Sajay, what are you doing? You will lose a lot of money. I can let it be. I don't care. But I want to become Christmas man. I should be known in the industry a Christmas man, something very exclusive. If some buyer comes from abroad to buy Christmas items, he will not go back unless he visits my company. That is my challenge. That was a challenge to me, and I met the challenge. Whosoever was interested to buy Christmas items from abroad, he will definitely come and meet Mr. Sanjay of Philadelphia.
So one of the things that entrepreneurs always struggle with, right? When somebody succeeds, they tend to see uh, only the success side of it and not see the journey that has got them till there. So, what is, in your case, was it smart work, hard work, luck, or were there other people who shaped and helped you along the way, apart from
This is,
family?
this is a very good question. Everybody says lucky aadmi hai. He's a lucky person. He got the idea. This, I think, in your career, luck plays its role, but it is out of 10. I will give only 2 points to luck. Five
Okay.
points I will give it to your hard work, because it is the hard work which attracts your luck. And thirdly, your family sport. 2 points to your family sport. And I will give one, the remaining point out of 10 is your temperament. The person who's doing this entrepreneurship job, what is his temperament? How he behaves with the staff, how he behaves with the customers, the buyers, the buying agents, his family members, his wife. His temperament is very important for doing all these things. And if his temperament is good, he will be very comfortable in doing business. If the family support is there, he will be very comfortable. So entrepreneurship becomes later. These things are very necessary in somebody's life to become an entrepreneur.
Okay. So, you have won so many uh, recognitions, so many awards, and they're all remarkable because they are at a national level. They are for contributing to the economy of this country through exports. Is there any particular one that satisfied you the most, or one that you are proudest about?
Certainly, I have won all those awards. They are really a big honor to my company, to an individual, to my family, all who have been very, very helpful to me. My daughter-in-law, my wife, she has been working a woman and also helping us. I have seen times because when we did not have a place to keep our ready goods. We used to keep it in our drawing room, in our my dining room and bedrooms. All were full with the shipment with it used to go. That time I've seen. That is called entrepreneurship. You have seen those bad days, and from bad days you come to this golden era. So these awards, 13 are the one award which I got is the Lifetime Achievement Award. That was also a big surprise for me because at that time I was not almost retired from the uh, company and handed over all my work to my son. My grandson has also joined the same company. He has done his post graduation in business management. He has also joined my Philadelphia Sports. So my achievement award was one of the best, which I would say that gave me very happy signal in my working and my life.
It's well, I must say, it's well deserved. But just moving on to another point, I'll come back to the family point at the end once more. Let's move on. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs today want to get into exports. It's a lot easier than it used to be today, than it was for you. Are
Yeah.
there any specific things that they should take care of? Because when you export, you also represent the country in some way, the quality from the
Yes.
country, etc. Do you have some tips for entrepreneurs who want to get into the export side?
Totally. In my past 20, 25 years of experience in the export trade, particularly, for foreign exporters, so I would keep this limited to export business only. My experience. So once they should select a good product which has a demand in the market. Selection of product is very important before you start your business. You must make a, and the product, when you select a product, you must keep certain things in mind that the product should be available close to your place of working. So suppose you are in Delhi, you should see by Meerut, Muradabad. There are close places where you can go in the morning and come back in the evening. That should remain close to the place, working place. Material products, the material should also be available. The workforce should be available. The rule, this our most of our Christmas decorations are now, of course, they have shifted to Delhi also, but they are all made in the rural areas. Do you know how much employment we provide to the people living in the villages? Lot of people are being fed by the orders we place on the contractors to make those items. So this entrepreneurship serves the rural people also. Rural unemployment removes by handing over these products to them to make these things. So this is
That's a very, very interesting point you make there, that if we have to support the artisans and the rural economy.
yes, automatically. And the best thing is he should also feel comfortable. He should have a team of people in the organization wherever he wants to start it. Who should, because entrepreneur cannot afford to have a big team. There are small budget companies. They want to play with your own money. So they have certain things which I have observed in my life. I played with the money which I had. If I exported good what 5 lakhs rupees, let that 5 lakhs come. Next shipment will be 7 lakhs. The next shipment will be 10 lakhs. By and by we have gone. If and don't take the risk of giving credit to the buyers with the that I have got a big order. Don't give on loan. Try to take some advance from them. Even LC business is not very helpful. That also can become risky. First, most important, you have to take care that once you have started the business, whatever money you have, you don't lose. Keep it, spend it very wisely. Why in this sense? Because for business, in business there can be losses also. But try, well, if once you fail at the early stages, then it is difficult to restart the business for entrepreneur because you lose your money. You hard-earned money which you have already spent, then it's difficult to get from the market or from the banks
True.
also. Banks will also support you. So these are small tips. If you have a team of workers, 4 workers, trained all those 4 workers for all the jobs. Not that you will look accounts, you will look only this.
Yeah.
All 4 should be trained for all the jobs. That is the main, the basic lesson for the entrepreneur. He can't feed a team of 15 to 20 people. He should have 4 or 5 people to whom he should trust, who can handle shipping, accounts, blah, blah, blah. One should, like a cricket team, the all-rounder, we should employ only all-rounders.
So,
With all-rounders,
you
you
know,
have.
you call them simple tips, but these are distilled tips with decades of experience, and they may be simple, but they're very difficult to implement for people. So these are very important points that you're making here.
These things we face while working, we face these problems. And one person says, "No, I will not do this job." Say, okay, from tomorrow you need not come. I have other person to take care of it. Those persons should be trustworthy. 4 or 5 people, what the a team you have got is. If you get some sincere persons, when I say I get it, you have also to be sincere with them. Only then they will take care of you. But with the 4 or 5 people are enough to run a organization. Small entrepreneurship company is enough. Don't we take hire only those persons when you really need them. So with my even getting this type of spot, my strength of worker is 25. Still, I am very happy, very comfortable, and they are trusted, and they are working with me for the past more than 20 years. Nobody wants to leave it. Why? It's not that I'm paying them the higher wages. Along with higher wages, they also secure of their future. They will not be turned out with a small notice. Whether there's business or no business, those people must carry on with me. If I am carrying on, they will also carry on with me.
So, the points you're making is giving me a thought, and I want to explore that a little more. When we think
Okay.
of family businesses, we think of the
Yeah.
big ones, the Birlas, Godrejas, etc. But they are third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation. You are first generation from a family that was not into entrepreneurship, and you
Okay.
started it when your son was already an adult.
Yeah.
How do you manage a family business? How do you manage the conflict, etc.? Because in other startups, out of every 100 startups, 75 have some founder or the other leaving in first 2 years. How do you manage to take family along? Because there must be conflicting directions, right?
See, I am fortunate in that I didn't face any much problem. That's the reason I have said I gave 2 points to the family. Family, how you manage your family. That is, along with luck and hard work, your family is very important. Family support, without family support, business is not possible. Give me water, please. Business is not possible. Family support is a must. And fortunately, if you get a working woman, she's her income also gives a lot of support to the family in adversity. That also helps. You have
Go
pani
ahead,
pilau?
please take a break of water. You have been enlightening us, and it's been really fascinating.
I need water and there's nobody. Anyway, Rohan, Rohan.
So,
Anyway,
we have been hearing from Kanwalji, and we have been hearing this fascinating journey uh, over decades and decades, and so
pani
many
lao.
myths of entrepreneurship that young people seem to believe get busted when you hear it directly. Every kind of challenge has been explored, every kind of challenge has been achieved, every success has been seen. Go ahead, sir, please have your water and refresh yourself, and it will lead me to my next question. Actually, my second last question, because I'm taking up too much of your time. But my
That's
second
okay.
last question.
It is very interesting. Very interesting.
So
So,
I
share
meet a lot
your.
of people of my age and younger. They don't have a fraction of the passion and zest for life that you have. How does one channel this? Is this something you were born with? Is this something you have developed? Or what keeps you going so passionately?
You're right. You have used the word rightly. I have passion to see new things in my own business. The Christmas decorations. Little, I tell you, one night I was sleeping, and in the thoughts, some design came. This, if we do like this, if we do like this, something can be developed. In the morning, when I went to office, the first thing I called that person who develops our products. I called him. I asked him to make it like this. So he sat down. Within half an hour, we made it and sent a photo of that to our buyer. What is his opinion about this product? You know, at that time, this technology was not there. You will by send the photograph, this, etc. But it takes time. After 10 days, we got the reply. Your the sample is approved, and please book order for 50,000 pieces. No, the idea which came in your mind, I wanted to encash it in the morning itself. I don't want to transfer it to the next day because I will forget
So,
what
so where
time
does
was.
this energy come from?
It is
Is it inborn or do you
passion.
develop it?
It is called passion about doing something.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people who have passions as Safji, but they don't live it in the same spirit as you do. And I will come to my last question now.
Hmm.
When you pursue something as a higher goal and try to uplift not only yourself but your family and create multi generational success and show the family a path for it, which you've done, do you, at a personal level, lose some of your own dreams, or you suppress them, or is there something that you missed, something that you wish you would have done?
See, this is again a question which may differ from person to person. Reply it may be differ. But I say at this I am very contented. See, when I always compare my present with the past, so I am the happiest person. I was 30, 40, 50 years ago, what I am today. God has been very grateful to me. I am so thankful. So as far as the comparison, the future of my family is concerned, whatever best I could do, I have done it, and I'm sure they will also carry on the same guidelines which we have set for our company. They are carrying on. My son is working. My son-in-law, my grandson, even grandson wife, she has also joined because it is a small family business. It's not a like as you said. It's not a Birla's. In fact, if I tell you, entrepreneur world should be only for the small businessmen who have succeeded in their life. When you compare it to Tata, Birla, Modi, they are not entrepreneurs. So
True.
entrepreneur world is actually a lot of struggle by the proprietor of the company, by the original, by the person who has set up the business. He is the entrepreneur and he has to make a lot of sacrifices, he has to do, for him, there is no night and no day. Anytime he should be ready to work.
You know, the first time I'd heard your life story, which you kindly shared with me about 5, 6 years ago in Bangalore over a dinner table,
Thank
I was
you.
blown away by the sheer depth, the adversity, and the late start and the success. And it has been an absolute honor to have you on the show. The story, the emotions, the very candid sharing of simple facts of life, simple stepping stones for success, not some jargon, not some high flying stuff. What you have achieved is absolutely remarkable. If any of us in the next generation can achieve a fraction of that, we will be very proud. But you've set such a high bar. It's going to be pretty difficult for all of us, including your immediate family.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having that type of thinking about me. But I tell you this Christmas ornament because my industry will be proud because I was a member of the Sport Motion Council for 16 years, and 2 years I spent as vice chairman of the council, and later I also became president of the fair We started our own fairs in there because we used to go to Frankfurt for very often to see the festivals, these fairs, and pick up new items. And it was a regular feature for us to go to Christmas World, that fair is known as Christmas World, where we used to pick up the ideas, then come back, then start our own new planning products. Because when buyers come, the first question they ask is, Mr. Sajay, show me what is new for this year. So we have to create something new if we want to survive in the business. So every year we used to make 50 to 100 new samples, new designs. This is how we are surviving.
So, with all this zest, passion, and this very fulfilled life, successful life, any hobbies that you kept up with, or you didn't focus on that side at all?
Mm, In fact, if you ask me, I never had the time to look to hobbies. I'm a little, it's my misfortune because at the age when I was supposed to go for playing theater, I missed all those glorious years because it was a struggle all along. It was only after I settled in life. Now I am enjoying my life, with my family, with my children. No, there are no regrets in life. No regrets in life. Almost we have been, my family and we have been going abroad every year with my family, which I could never think of when had I been really bored or anywhere else. So these are the plus advantages having your own business and working sincerely along with your team of people, to your family. So they are. That's how the this train runs.
Kanwalji, it has been an absolute delight and honor. For the first time in 46 episodes, I have gone over my time by 10 minutes. I'm so fascinated speaking to
And my,
you.
my, my
I,
apologies because I have taken more time.
no, I was
But,
listening to you with
but
rapt
this,
attention.
but this story is unending, I tell you. There are in 30 years there are many stories which I can tell and you will feel delighted. So
Oh,
time is not
absolutely.
there. Even in 10 minutes I have taken more. I feel sorry about it.
Absolutely. That the time does not do justice to the richness of the experiences you've had and the wisdom that you have shared with us. Thank you very much. I wish you the very best. And I hope we can have you on the show again to hear some of those final stories someday very soon. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Nalin, and thank you to your viewers also who have been able to see this program. Thank you very much. God
Thank
bless
you.
you.